Hello, hello. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey, how is everybody? How is everybody? How's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hi, Jamie, Anna, Lisa, Carissa, Professor Nutmeg, Tia, Tia F, Maurice, just me being real. Kathy Ellis, how is everybody? Katie, Mona, Melissa Hogan, Holly Jolly, Shitty Sally. Is that what it is? Shitty Sally. Mimi of 8, H, Messy Little Polka Dot. K, Buttons Bijan, Mosey AJ, Sizzle 74, Catherine Brown, Eliza, Danny drinking the water. Everyone hit the like button, Anna Alley says. Guys, I got some tea that I'm brewing. So give me a second. Got a joint that I'm smoking, tea that I'm brewing. This is kind of wake and bake, just to be honest with you. Buttons Bijan, welcome to members. This is kind of wake and bake because, I did come home from work, take care of the dogs, go to sleep, and I'm awake. And here I am again. I got my sunglasses at night. My tea. Oh, thank you very much. I'll be right there, guys. I got some tea going on here. Because my coffee didn't come. My coffee's been delayed. They tell me my coffee isn't coming yet. It's been delayed, right, Danny? Hasn't my coffee been delayed? Danny's like, I don't know. I don't know, Mom. Beat the fuck out of me. I don't care. How is everybody today? Huh? Is everybody good? Everybody good? Well, it's 34 degrees outside, which is going to be the warmest it's going to be all day. And in a way, that's good because, like, it had to melt because it was rain and ice. And that's dangerous when you're driving. You know? Your hands are busy, you're at work. I love the UK. Thank you, Miss Music. 64 degrees here, and I'm happy. Okay, it's over 60 here. Okay. Show offs. A Donald says, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you. Thank you. And Edie, it's warm in Houston. Yep. It would be 5 degrees Celsius here in Northern Ireland. Okay. Okay, that's what? That's about 30, 32, something like that. Am I wrong? Danny is playing with it. She doesn't know what she wants. Oh, she's got my shoe. Okay. Guys, how are you? Seriously, how you doing today? Non-blonde millennial, 51 in New York City, in North Carolina, but raining. Maribel, Christy, Ruth, Clumsy Grace. Are you really clumsy? Kathy Hannah. So many questions. Moonchild. Lexi. There's a lot of you guys that are members. Thank you for that. How many chapters does a fictional book have? I thought somebody said like 22, but I could be wrong because we're on chapter 19. If that's the case, we'll finish this bad boy up today. But I don't know because there's like a bunch more to the book, to be honest with you. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's not a bunch more to the book. Um, Hang on. I'm going to answer your question, my little friend. My little friend. All right. Let me see something. What do you guys think about Gypsy? Her shit getting hacked. What do you think about them apples and pears? Tell me what you think. Oh, isn't it funny? Because Anna Alley's just asking the same question. What do you guys think about that? I think she got hacked. I didn't think so at first, but I think so now. I think she got hacked. Yep. Okay, so it looks like there is 22 pages to this god awful book, and we're on chapter 19, not 22 pages. I'm sorry. Somebody sent me money. Who was that? So I could say thank you. Miss Musique from the UK. Thank you. I do. No, I think that I did a video on it, but I haven't put the video out yet. Maybe I'll put it out after this, depending on how tired I am. Guys, those that are 90-day fiancés, I'm trying to really cover that. If you guys are, please like, subscribe, and because I like that stuff. But okay, so the reason why Miss Music simply is because it doesn't look good. There is nothing that is being said about this woman that is good. It's not even making her look more like a victim. It's just making her look awful. So that's why I don't think that they know anything about this, and that Lifetime is not behind it, because it's not a good look. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that? Do you agree with my logic? Dip me in glitter. How you doing? I haven't seen you in a minute. Sammy Soup. I'm so glad that I'm an escape from your life, and I mean that. I mean that sincere. I love when you guys say hello to each other. It's weird about the hacking. It's hilarious that this is the year, right? Isn't it funny when Nina was like, Cat Williams said this was the year that includes Gypsy too? I was busting out laughing. I was laughing. Even bad publicity, still publicity thing. Yeah, it could have been anything else. This is not a good look. I'm sorry. This could have been. I don't think so. Yeah, I think it was today. Isn't today a year since her release? Okay, so Danny, just so you guys know, is Dhani. And ooh, they're actually kind of laying next to each other. I got to get a picture of this, guys, because they're kind of laying across from each other. Shit, Danny moved. They weren't laying like Milo's laying in a bed. Danny's laying on the throw rug, and but they were facing each other, like looking in each other's eyes. I don't know if I believe that she confessed to offing her mom to Ryan. I think she's an idiot, and I think she's not going to get thrown back in jail for that. You know that, because that it would be double jeopardy. There would have to be a new charge. So the biggest thing over that, what you just said about if she confessed to Ryan, it isn't that. It's Ryan staying with her after that. That's the thing. Well, I don't think with the same charge. I don't think she can if she admitted to murder, to be honest with you. I really don't think she can. There would have to be another charge on her. And I don't think so. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that they can't even do anything to her damn lawyer, to be honest with you, Sammy. You know, I am interviewing somebody, one of the women that I'm interviewing, I don't remember if it's Trixie or 1980 Millennial, but one of them has, I think, some sort of history or some sort of, they might know, because I think that they know something about the law. So we could try. You're Milo, here's a squeaky toy. That's Danny. Danny loves the squeaky toy. Do plea deals count? Well, the problem with this, you know, the lawyer really did the wrong thing here. The lawyer gave her an alibi, and somebody wrote to me and said, no, that's what they're supposed to do. And I said, they're not supposed to lie for the client. They're not supposed to put hardened criminals out on the street knowing that they're dangerous. And Gypsy's dangerous. And that lawyer, Mike Stanfield, gave her that alibi of Munchausen by proxy. Melissa Hogan, thank you so much. Well, here's the thing. Okay, so wait a minute. So hang on. Okay, so Melissa says that she thinks she got hacked, but the messages don't have to be legitimate. This person that hacked her account, I really don't think knew or knows anything about Gypsy until after they started getting like all of this shit about it. So I honestly think that where was I going with that? There the hacker playing with us. No, because how would they know? That's what I was going to say. How would that hacker know anything about Ken or anything about her unaliving her mom and telling Ryan? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the hackers from Turkey, I think that they pulled a lot of accounts. Gypsy said that her account got hacked. There is nothing here that makes her look good. You know, there's nothing here that makes her look good. It doesn't even make her look like a victim. It just makes us all like ready for everything. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because didn't somebody else seriously, like, I heard that, and somebody from Turkey actually, well, somebody translated from Turkey. Hang on a second. I might have my coffee here because it looks like I got something from might have to do with the weather though. Amazon. Hold on. Might have something to do with the weather though. I didn't get my coffee. Yeah, but I got my tea. I got strawberry tea. My mom got her shirts. So I need to call my mom and ask her if her shirts fit her. So she's doing good, my mom. Thank you for asking. I had to get her DoorDash earlier today. Before I even left to work, I had DoorDash from my mom. You guys ready to do a little bit of reading? The guys from the Middle East and speaks Turkish, very little English. That's correct. That's correct. Guys, where did I see? I want to say Nina. You know, I watch more Nina than, and she's got everything, right? So I give Nina my views before I'll give anybody else my views. If she's covering something, unless it's a content creator, excuse me, that I like. And then I will give them my views. Renelle Smith, Renelle's World, she covers a lot of this stuff. She's so low key and she's underrated. You guys should check her out, Renelle's World. You think that Gypsy's 100% behind her own hack. It's funny how the hacker was live for a while yesterday, and the second Nina jumped in, that it ended. That's not cool. I didn't hear that. Now that I didn't see. Conspiracy posted a video on TikTok 40 minutes ago where Gypsy replied to a comment that the messages are fake. What do you want her to say? I'm not questioning you, Moonchild. I'm just saying, what do you want Gypsy to say? I just did a video about her, like her things being hacked. So, right. And the hacker unblocked these people. So, I don't know, guys. Like, people don't believe her anyway. That's absolutely no thanks you. That's exactly correct. We wouldn't believe her. Morbid jumped in and told him not to give money. Case was there too. Case was calling out the other guy. Did you hear that? Case was calling out the guy who was bullshitting with the hacker. Did you hear that? I love Renell too. Yeah, the Czech guy, and he was bad news. Right? Right? I am gonna put out my video because I worked on it. Yep. Case was calling out that guy. I like Ivory Rose knows. I am so careful about what I call her. I fully support the hacker too, Jamie. I am so careful about what I call her because they're so two different. The Ivory Rose grows wild, and Ivory Rose grows. Ivory Rose knows. Ivory Rose knows is the older woman, just older than the other one on the bayou, right? I don't want to get them confused because I think one of them has more integrity than the other, and I just want to be careful with who I say what to. I don't trust Case, remember, way too much. I only know Case recently. I love his voice, and am I wrong? I thought that he had integrity. I think that so far he's shown me he has integrity. Ivory Rose nose is nice. Yeah, she's the one with the darker hair. I like her. I like Case too. Love Case. He's amazing. Yeah. Case was involved with Aaron Carter. What do you mean he was involved with Aaron Carter? It's been an interesting 24 hours. It is. It's just a little alien. I like that. I remember that name from before. Case is great. Love Case. I like Case. Whipping Post. I don't know that. I like it. So I'm going to have to look into Case and Aaron Carter. He brought up Aaron Carter, as a matter of fact, because Czech had something to do with that, right? Czech was involved with Aaron Carter, right? Not Case. Right. Sorry. Hey, guys, I want to apologize because I was listening to myself read these books and my breathing was atrocious. I mean, that's all you heard was my breathing out of my nose, and that was quite disgusting. So I'm really sorry about that. I did order some of those breathe things that you guys, I think, told me about. They just obviously haven't come yet. But I did order that, especially after I heard that. Sonia, just pay attention to your driving and listen while you work. Yeah, he said something about him testing Aaron's drugs. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Check the Star was involved with Aaron Carter. Cases like, what are you doing over here in Gypsy? Exactly. That's what I thought. He's a clout chaser. That's what I heard. Wild Gypsy Rose. Justice with Mercy. How you doing? Mosey AG, you just put Vixen in your nose. That's nice. I don't want to do that, but we're gonna see how this stuff works. I did. Yeah, no. No, I heard my own. I heard it. It was horrible. All right, guys. Chapter 19. Are you ready? There's 217 of you and 101. Have your thumbs up. Can you give me an extra thumbs up? All right. Popcorn's out. There was some bickering going on for sure. Yep, he was calling him out. I don't have a problem with that. So many questions. Hopefully, you'll appreciate the way I read the book. Are we ready, spaghettis? Let's do this. Chapter 19. You know what's really weird, seriously, is that there's no page numbers. So I've had a fear of accidentally knocking over the pages, or the dogs knocking over the pages. I'd never be able to find where they go because there's no page numbers. I don't understand that. That's crazy to me that there's no page numbers on this book. All right. Amor, amor. I think that means love, love, right? Love, love, love. Everybody now. Love, love, love. Hey, Trixie. Love, love, love. All right, guys, you ready? Mom, if you're watching this, I've only smoked a little bit. That's the only drug I'm doing. Okay. My public life really began when my family and I participated in the HBO documentary Mommy, Dead and Dearest, which aired in May 2017. An independent documentary filmmaker named Erin Lee Carr contacted Dad, Christy, and Mike about doing a documentary about my childhood and interviewing me. There had been so much press coverage surrounding Nick and me, and it felt good to have an opportunity to explain my side of the story. They began production as I was awaiting my court hearing before the plea deal. But I remember vividly that I was interviewed hours after I accepted the plea. Huh, I didn't realize that. Thank you, Trixie. Thank you. And Misty Manzarizi. I'm messing with that name. Congratulations, Trixie. That was very kind of you. And I'm so excited about, I have an interview with Trixie coming up, guys. An interview with Trixie coming up. I'm very excited about that. Please check. I believe, thank you. You don't have to do that. Thank you so much, Trixie. I believe it's tomorrow. Trixie, I have 2 interviews, one on Sunday and one on Monday. Jojo for show. I'm glad you're excited. I really am. And it's it's just a little alien. You got it. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to you. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. So guys, please check and I'm hoping that Trixie can also do it from her page. So that we can live stream simultaneously, I'm hoping. So we could both get views. You could start with one of us and end with the other if you want. Or if you have 2 different televisions, watch in one room and watch on the other. There you go. I'm very excited about it. All right, guys. So what she's saying is that before the plea deal, huh? I don't know about that. I don't believe that. Before the plea deal, Milo and Danny, just so you guys know, and I appreciate you always shouting out to my dog. It's Dhani, and it's Danny. But I appreciate you even calling her Danny and remembering my dog's names. Danny, they're calling you out. They're calling you out. Danny's looking at the fish. We have a beta fish. His name is Cletus. He's been in my life longer than Danny. All right. Okay, so all right, she says that this was happening before the plea deal. It's hard for me to believe that, but she vividly remembers an interview hours after she accepted the plea deal. In the process, I learned so much about what my dad and Christy had gone through too. and hearing from extended family members was enlightening. It helped provide a context to see how far reaching my mom's impact had been. You don't have a shot in hell here, Dee Dee. Not a shot in hell. None of us expected the response. While, yes, there were haters, the outpouring of support was shocking. People from all over the world sent me letters of encouragement. Yeah, because they believed your bullshit. Support. So people from all over the world sent me letters of encouragement, support, and of their own stories. Oh, I bet you those people feel foolish now being vulnerable to you. My story opened a floodgate for other people's pain, and I think their hope. This is the thing that is the worst, besides the unaliving in Nick, is the hope of other people that actually went through something and she didn't. My story opened a floodgate for other people's pain, and I think that, their hope that they too can survive. Not by unaliving an obese woman who can't catch you because you're fucking spoiled, rotten, and entitled. My heart broke as I read letters. No, they didn't. Your heart didn't break. Your heart did not break. My heart broke, she says, as I read letters depicting graphic abuse. You probably got off on it. Hopelessness and shame. My family members of imprisoned loved ones wrote to my dad and Christy looking for connection in a club they did not choose to be in. That's a pretty good line. That one right there. There's 2 good lines in the whole fucking book so far. To my dad and Christy looking for connection in a club that they chose not to be, that they did not choose to be in. One letter in particular stuck out to me. His voice leaped off the page as if he were sitting right in front of me, holding the paper. I could feel his energy. He was just a cool guy. Hi, my name is Ken. You would think, with what I read, that we were going to hear a story about a person that had been through something, not fucking Ken, right? Wouldn't you think? One letter after all of this, the connection of victims or perpetrators, whoever was writing to the dad, trying to make the connection, the heartwarming stories of how survivors. But one letter in particular stuck out to me, meaning Gyps-A-hooooooy. His voice leaped off the page as if he were sitting right in front of me, holding the paper. I could feel his energy. He was just a cool guy. Hi, my name is Ken. Ken, funny. My mother never liked Barbie's Ken. Fuck it, I thought. I wrote him back. That was a stupid line. So you think she paid somebody to hack her? Hey, Silnat, how you doing? Guys, check out Silnat. She's on TikTok. Kung Fu Panda, how you doing? Ken's a cool guy until he wants to get some wings. I like wings. And then somebody challenges you and says, no, he's not. Okay, so he's not a cool guy. Well, I have somebody making merch, and I believe I have an email about it. I just haven't had a second to check it. I'm hoping I could check the email today, Silnat. I have one of our community, somebody in the Toddy one skipper actually is doing the merch for us, and we're working together. I'm telling her what I want, and yeah, and we've done a Zoom meeting, and again, I have an email that I just haven't gotten to yet. I'm excited. I'm really excited about it. There a lot of them are my ideas, but yeah, I'm really excited about this. And we're not going crazy on the price, guys. I just want you. We're not going nuts on prices, and no. All right. I would like us to have like some logo, and I don't know how this is going to work, but for the community, for the members, because I am not gonna like put up only members only things, but maybe in some of the merchandise we could put like a members only. Hey, how you doing? We need a Gyps-A-hooooooy shirt. Thank you, no thanks, no thanks you. um Call it the Toddcast. Oh God, I love that. That's funny. I like that. We're gonna use that. The Toddcast. I really like that. Thank you for that one. I will give you credit, the Toddcast, and that would be Cherokee Girl. So thank you for that. I will forget it, but please don't let me. Jamie Duncan, she loves it. Absolutely. Yep. So anyway, so the merch is gonna be, we're not gonna make a lot of money off this merch. But I am gonna split it with the artist. And yeah, because I think that that's fair. So for everything that we sell, um we'll go ahead, I will split that with the artist. And there'll be some things that I think some money will just go to a charity. And we'll figure it out, guys. We'll figure it out. you know um I'm excited. I started reaching out to like one of the animal places here where I got Danny about doing a yearly donation in my hero's name. So, all right, let's continue onward. So, one letter in particular was Ken, and somehow Ken, funny. My mom never liked Barbies, Ken. Fuck it. I thought I read him back. That's probably why. That's probably the whole thing is based on that bullshit that it wouldn't have gone well with mommy. We wrote each other letters and started talking on the phone. He was easy to talk to, and we had so much in common. Really? So much in common? How? How is that you had so much in common? Did he unalive his mom? Because I don't think so. His mom's name is Raina, and I'm pretty sure that I've heard her talk, and I'm pretty sure that's where he is right now, in his mother's arms, in his mother's loving arms. I'm sorry about that. I don't like that AMSR. I don't like that. So I'm sorry about the slurping. It's just hot. He was from a big family with lots of siblings. Yeah, they got that in common. Which, having been brought up as an only child, there you go, appealed to me. See how much they had in common? She was an only child. She considered, even though she has 3 half siblings. You guys do know that there is another child named Nicolette, I believe that's her name, and she is Gypsy's half sister, but I don't think they have any relation at all. Rod doesn't have any relation with Nicolette, from my understanding. All right. Yeah. So I imagine, okay, so having been brought up as an only child, it appealed to me. I imagine their holiday gatherings being really loud and chaotic, and that brought on a smile. I couldn't wait for Ken to visit me. When he did, I was swept off my feet. Dang, he's handsome. After 37 minutes, he leaned over and gave me the most passionate kiss of my whole life. I didn't even know you liked me like that, I said, as the guard charged towards us. Yeah, I have for a while, he said. I have for a while too. Eh. Poor Ken got kicked out for that kiss since the rule is no touching. I got lucky because that's an offense that can get you thrown in the hole. That's in the SHU special housing unit. Isolation, remember we went through all that? It was 100% worth it. The first time Ken told me he loved me, felt like I had taken the most powerful opioid of all. Love was my new drug. Well, I guess it's better than X. Will you be my husband one day? I asked him on the phone after about a year of our friendship and courtship. You really think she waited a year? Look at my hair, guys. You really think she waited a full year to ask him? Gyps-A-hooooooy? Gyps-A-hooooooy! Go ahead, honey. You could take out all the toys. I'm going to put them away and you're going to take them out. And that's the way our life's going to be. And that's all right with me. That's what they're there for. Will you be my husband one day? Of course, he said. And while I hadn't proposed, what is that? Will you be my husband one day? And you're waiting for an answer. That's kind of a proposition. It's just in the future, right? Like you wouldn't go out and marry somebody else unless you were Gypsy. Okay. Will you be my husband one day? I asked him on the phone after about a year of our friendship and courtship. Of course, he said. And while I hadn't proposed, his confirming that his plans for us would one day be mutual had me walking on air. I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah. Walking on sunshine. Yeah. During an October visit about a year after that call, disregarding the rules, Ken held my hands close and told me how much I meant to him. I had a feeling a proposal was coming since we talked about our future together. I'm sorry. Like vomit keeps coming up in my mouth. I'm totally joking. I'm joking. But I never let me continue on. I had a feeling a proposal was coming since we talked about our future together, but I never expected such beautiful words like the ones Ken spoke to me in the visitor's room. I thought she was going to say, like Ken said over the phone, Gypsy, I know you through and through. I bet you're eating those words now. I bet you that's coming up in your mouth now, Ken. Danny. Danny has got a horn, like a ram horn or a deer horn. I love story time with Toddy. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, this is something. This is unbelievable. Hang on. All right. Gypsy, I know you through and through, and I love you for who you are today, for the heart I've come to know. Then Ken motioned his hands over his chest, over his heart, and continued, I want to spend every day waking up next to you, building a life with you, and being the one that you, hang on, and being the one that you can come to through all the hard times. I want to be that one for you. Will you marry me? Yes! He couldn't propose with a ring because of prison restrictions on bringing offenders gifts. Aw, isn't that too bad? I did find a silver band for sale on the black market in prison. An inmate was getting a divorce and was selling her silver band, so I bought it. Thank you. Thank you, Carissa JB. That's very kind of you. Gyps-A-hooooooy! Thank you so much. Oh, nah. Why would you buy a somebody's divorced ring? I mean, seriously, would you why would you bring that on to you can't even wear the ring in prison. You're not married. So why? Why would you do that? Oh no, not the divorce ring, Sky Renee says. Bree turned on her yet? No, I don't think so, but it's gonna happen, Todd. Whenever you do the Gyps-A-hooooooy, you remind me of the gingerbread man from Shrek. I'm gonna have to see that. Do they say Gyps-A-hooooy? They don't say Gyps-A-hooooy. You should definitely copyright that, Toddy. What, Gyps-A-hooooooy? Let me tell you why I don't think I can. I think it's morbid. Thank you, Mosey AG. Thank you so much, AJ. I'm sorry, Mosey AJ. My apologies. I don't think. Oh, it's the high pitched voice that I'm doing. It's almost like Mr. Bill, though. Remember Mr. Bill? Oh no, Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live. Remember? He'd lose his head. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Thank you guys. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, because one day didn't Morbid refer to some of the people in Gypsy's camp as being like Keebler elves? Didn't he do that? I might have done Gyps-A-hooooy before that, but the Keebler elf thing, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna copyright. I wouldn't do that, but you know, Gyps-A-hooooooy. I like saying it, and the fact that you guys kind of like hearing it. So it's kind of like a little thing, right? All right, let's do this. Let's talk about it. So, so here's the ring thing. Here you go. Like she's so stupid. Listen, he couldn't propose with a ring because of the prison restrictions on bringing offenders gifts. Yeah, you don't deserve them. I did find a silver band for sale on the black market in prison. An inmate was getting a divorce and was selling her silver band. So I bought it. It was confiscated shortly after. What was the purpose of having it? Again, unless you're married, they're not going to let you wear it. Like, she's so stupid. And then a cursed divorce ring at that. Like, come on. We kept our engagement private. Then why'd you have a fucking ring that you were obviously wearing that got confiscated? You're a moron. Like, you see what I'm saying? Right there, there's a lie. Well, you kept it private, but you got a ring that you shouldn't have had. And that, I mean, that you bought from somebody that was a cursed ring, basically. Guys, 100 of you, can you give me a thumbs up? Because 276 of you are joining me here today, and 175 of you. I see Kathy Hanna. I see the little is that a guitar or is that, have you guys seen Nina's little violin? I love it. Do you love Nina's voice? Nina's voice kind of sucks, but I love it. Anyway, let's go. We kept our engagement private. No, you didn't. Only telling our closest family. Then the act aired on Hulu, and I went from being known to being a pseudo celebrity. Yeah, she doesn't know what a pseudo celebrity is. My personal life was a carcass for vultures to feast on. The media, including true crime armchair enthusiasts, investigated everything about me, including Ken. The invasion was really hard on him. After an acquaintance of one of my family members leaked my relationship, clickbait articles appeared mockingly announcing our engagement. Ken was a private person until I got out of prison, was married to Ryan. Then he wanted in on that shit. Ken was a private person and was bothered by the attention and scrutiny. The news of our engagement reached Nick, who sent me a letter in 2019, not too long after he got sentenced. Basically, Nick said I was committing adultery, that he had taken my virginity when he essayed me, and that by God's law we were married. The letter was reminiscent of his dominant role that he was obsessed with playing out when we had our internet relationship. No, he just was a guy of virtue and he unalived your mom. He thinks he did. We're not sure that he did that. But like he thought that it was virtuous what he was doing because you're a master manipulator to people with a weaker mind, Gypsy. And I'm sure he felt cheated on horribly and betrayed while she's sitting there going on with her life and has 10 years. He gets life, so you know. But why would you not notice that? She wouldn't notice that. Like, that's nothing she's thinking of, right? She was taught how to lie. She is a liar. I think she lost it years before. Yeah, she's crazy. Hey, Mama Wolf, I'm glad you fixed your truck tire. Yeah, so Sarah has a point, a valid point. How are they able to write each other? And you're not supposed to, inmates aren't supposed to write to one another. It's possible they could have by her sending a letter to somebody else and getting it to him. Like I said, I think she's still like might have something to do with NPG. And if I'm wrong, NPG, then my apologies. But then can you show us who you are? All right. All right. She's talking about Nick here. His attempt to control me and humiliate me. She's the one that wrote the shit about the barbecue sauce. She humiliates herself. He didn't say anything like that. Um, my stomach's going to start making noises because I'm hungry, so I apologize for that. The letter was reminiscent of his dominant role that he was obsessed with playing out when we had our internet relationship. His attempt to control me and humiliate me as his submissive for his own deviant sexual pleasure had gotten old, only because I was in a healthy relationship with Ken. Oh my God. What do you think about that now? Only because I was in a healthy relationship with Ken, who was my best friend, who made me feel special and appreciated. Was I finally able to see how pathological Nick and I were when we were together? Oh my God. Oh my God. I wrote him one letter back, which acted as a closure letter. Co-defendants in the state of Missouri can communicate and even be housed together, but becoming pen pals, no pun intended, was never my intention. I guess they could write to each other. I was wrong. I was wrong. I don't know if it's true. We could probably look it up. But I mean, she's got it written here. It's kind of blatant, though. She's lied about so much, so I don't know. Anyway. In the letter to Nick, I told him I didn't want to get back into a relationship with him, that I'd moved on. I covered everything I wanted him to know from A to Z, or as you guys in the UK would say, from A to Z. Oh, you say that in Australia too, right? Diet Pepsi drinker, how you doing? Sky Renee, Bryson's Lab, Professor Nutmeg still here. No thanks, you misbehaving. Alexandra C. Okay, let's go. So I covered everything I wanted him to know from A to Z, from getting arrested all the way to the present day, about how I felt. How we were basically children, adults with mindsets of children, going through this ordeal. I told him I realized he didn't have much outside experience, and I understood that. How much did you have, supposedly? Because in one breath you had none, Gyps-A-hooooooy, in the next breath you knew it all. Here we go. I told him I realized he didn't have much outside experience, and I understood that, and I felt a sense of guilt. Just one sense, a little sense, like 2 cents, not even 2 cents, just a sense, which is why I testified on his behalf at his trial. I felt that taking accountability for my role was the right thing to do. Oh, you're so full of shit, Gypsy. You are so full of shit. There was a benefit in that for you. so that people didn't see what kind of fucking monster you were. I didn't do it out of love, but out of sense of obligation and due diligence to justice. This is she's making a mockery out of me at this moment. Out of me. Justice. My ass. My ass. Justice. Took advantage of him. Manipulated him. He had a weak mind, and she knew that. Horrible, horrible. I needed to make sure I was clear on that because I didn't want Nick to misconstrue my letter for wanting to be with him. I thought at first that it was Ken's discomfort with the popularity of the act, the show, and the widening of my reputation that led him to end our relationship. I was wrong. At the time of this writing, Ken has reached out to explain and set the record straight. There were many adults in his life, presumably much wiser than he, who suggested it wasn't the right time for me to be married. If you love her, you'll set her free, was the common piece of advice he'd hear again and again. Sometimes from prominent Hollywood therapists and other media personalities, sometimes from those in my own immediate family. I see now he believed he was acting in my best interest by sacrificing his own needs and wants. This is a crock of shit. First of all, she's now blaming people in her own immediate family. Sometimes from those in my own immediate family. Who's that? Who's that? Her own immediate family. No, no, who's that? It would have to be Rod and Christy, right? And Mia, right? That's her immediate family. Or Dylan. And Dylan, I don't think really speaks that much to her. So, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless her mom reached from the grave. Well, oh, yep, she's not buried. That's right. From the box she's in, the temporary box of ashes that they send in. And we've been over this, guys, because she still had plenty of time in jail. So she wasn't, she was still able to figure things out. It's not like that's not when you break up with somebody, guys. It's not when you break up with somebody. So I call his bullshit. I call his bullshit. All right. And who's the prominent Hollywood therapist and other media personalities? Who are those people that got involved with Ken and said, Ken, this is not good news? Are they the same people that helped you write your fucking book? I have my dad's ashes with me too, and it's in one of those temporary things. But, my dad was a fisherman, like I told you guys, right? He loved the ocean. So a lot of his ashes are in the ocean. Nieces and nephews have bits of him. He's also in the big urn with my dogs and stuff. And yeah, so, but he's in one of those temporary things. Sylvia, my friend Sylvia, is in a temporary thing too, because I have things I need to do for her. You know what I mean? So, all right, let's continue onward. So she said sacrificing his own needs and wants. Did he not sleep with anybody? Didn't he get a girlfriend afterwards? Like, what was he sacrificing? I'm just asking. A relationship where somebody was sitting in jail? I mean, or sitting in prison? Come on, man. Be real. The rite of passage of losing my first love happened alone in prison instead of in my bedroom surrounded by girlfriends me a breakup mix playing me a breakup mix and us eating pints of Ben and Jerry's like in the movies. It was a time when I missed my mom, a time that should have been shared between a mom and a daughter, but never would be. Well, it could have been. You unalived her. And I'm really sorry, but it sounds like you made some all right friends in jail. And, that's kind of dormitory type setting, like you called it. So the rite of passage and losing that and You might not have had Ben and Jerry's, you might have done it over ramen noodles, but I guarantee you there were girls there feeling bad for you. Exactly, that's what I said, Sky Renee. Of course there were people there. You know what I'm saying? All right. I thought about drugs. I thought about the smock. Instead, I cut off all my hair. Oh, isn't that weird? Instead, I cut off all my hair and made depression my new friend. My faith, along with the passing of time and lots of crying to Christy, revealed that God had a plan for me. Another blessing. She cut off all her hair. That should have told you right then and there. He had seen the very same documentary on HBO that Ken had, but Ryan Anderson didn't write me until much later. Ryan came into my life during a time when I had hardened my heart. Unaliving your mom, what, your heart was all gooey, all fuzzy, warm, fuzzy, and gooey? Okay. Ryan came into my life during a time when I had hardened my heart. Rebound? Maybe. I couldn't see that then. He was charming. His deep voice and familiar Southern accent made me feel safe and special. Having grown up in Louisiana, you didn't grow up in Louisiana. You grew up a good party in Missouri. Ryan felt like home to me because Ryan was also a proud Louisianan. I can't pronounce that. Louisianan? Louisianan. Louisiananan. Louisiananan? Louisianian. We bantered about his favorite football team, the New Orleans Saints, and mine, the Kansas City Chiefs. I could learn to love the Saints, I'd say all flirty on the phone. I could learn to love them. I had lived in Louisiana and Missouri after all. I lived in Louisiana and Missouri after all. But I didn't want to trust again. There was that choice once more. I was still stuck. I was still stuck. I was still stuck. I was still stuck. I said that 3 times fast. My fear and feeling that I wasn't good enough were like brick walls that I couldn't bust through. Do I let Ryan in? Do I try this again and risk getting hurt? Ryan's sense of humor lifted my vibrations, and he laughed at my jokes too. Soon I was growing impatient for our next phone call. We had deep conversations about life, about pop culture, about our hopes for the future. He shared with me his fears and vulnerabilities, his kryptonite. That right there, I believe, is a threat. That's to Ryan. I know your secrets, and I will tell on you. Let me tell you something here, guys. I'm reading what she's writing about Ryan, and it seemed like, she honestly had a better connection with Ryan, right? In return, I spilled every dark moment I had growing up. You guys said something, okay? And it's hard for me to believe any word Gypsy says because I think she's full of shit. So it's really hard for me to decide which things I think might be true or not. But you guys said, did she really confess to Ryan about what happened with her mom? Here she's saying that he shared his vulnerabilities and fears with me and his kryptonite. In return, I spilled every dark moment I had growing up. Ryan was the only person I had been able to finally open up to and not feel ashamed for my actions and past. She had already met Ken at that point. So again, she seems to have a better connection with Ryan. We prayed together, we planned together. Some say some say he was my distraction and he afforded me something happy to look forward to day after day. Even though Ryan wasn't in prison, I think I was the same for him. He was the thing that you looked forward to all the time, right? Ryan and I fought too, like any old regular couple. Well, you guys aren't old and you're not regular. And I think those arguments made our relationship deeper and more serious. I showed my ugly side to Ryan. Bitch, you showed your ugly side to everybody. Like that point in a new relationship when you fart or leave the bathroom door open. How would you know any of this? You're writing this shit in prison. How do you know any of this? See, that's the question. Besides somebody else writing the fucking book, like, it's still, come on. Come on. I worked out a lot of shit with him, tossing him my baggage. I'd feel bad after the fact about doing that, but then he'd toss me his baggage and I'd say, "Oh, okay, we're doing this." Ryan learned my triggers and I his. Once he told me, "You're my heart," and my body felt like it was trapped in a room filling up with water. So I cussed him out. He didn't know my mom. Oh, he didn't know that my mom had said that to me constantly. It's inevitable that the things that my mom did and said and how I was raised will affect certain decisions and behaviors moving forward. Well, that's the way it usually happens in life, but I don't want them to. I want clarity on how I live and what I choose to carve out for myself and my future family. And look at what you've done. You should be so proud. That will take work, only if you do it right, but you didn't do it right, so that just took nothing but seconds. But I'm a hard worker. Oh, are you? We haven't seen that yet. I've been working on this ever since my release from prison. Working on what? This fucking book with 2 other authors? Oh, thank you, Flying Wordy. That was very nice of you. Thank you so, so much from reading that. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate it. Ryan and I talked multiple times. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, but I've been working on this since my release, yeah, from prison. Ryan and I talked multiple times throughout the day and for hours before bed. This enabled us to fast track our relationship until we finally made our marriage commitment to each other. Many people, including my dad and Christy, told me not to marry Ryan. It was obvious Ken had never left my heart. They at least wanted us to wait, but I see now that after a lifetime of being in love with the idea of being in love, in my 30s, I felt this desperate need to find and create a family that I was once robbed of, complete with a Southern Prince Charming, even if it wasn't meant to be. In October of 2022, about 4 months after Ryan and I, oh, Danny's got a toy, so sorry about that. Hey, Lady Lolo. The toy scared her. The toy scared her, but she's going back to it. It's a chicken that makes noise. But she stopped playing with it because it makes noise. Okay. All right, let me see what we got. In October of 2022, about 4 months after Ryan and I had our prison wedding, the weight of the responsibility of being someone's wife hit me hard. Self-doubt smeared my fledgling self-worth, and being Mrs. Anderson threw a wrench in my self-developing identity. My still developing identity. I butchered the fuck out of that. It's actually one paragraph and it's one sentence, I think. In October of 2022, about 4 months after Ryan and I had our prison wedding, the weight of the responsibility of being someone's wife hit me hard. Self-doubt self-doubt smeared my fledgling self-worth, and being Mrs. Anderson threw a wrench in my still developing identity. And here's to you, Mrs. Anderson. Jesus loves you more than you will know. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Right, Danny? Danny Banani? Okay. Friends and family were skeptical and concerned, so there were lots of cooks in the kitchen turning up the flame. But also, I was afraid to be accountable to someone again. You've never been accountable to anybody. The relationships I had with my mom and with Nick required me to be bossed around. You saw the instructional video and the threat about, playing my only card or playing her only card or his only card or whatever. It was the other way around, and you saw her mom. So it was the other way around. Hey, what's going on? What's going on? That was a squirrel that was on my balcony here, and the squirrel jumped for its life off the balcony because my dogs were watching it do a jig. Okay. Uh, all right, where did I stop? Okay, the bossed around bit. Nick required me to be bossed around. It was the other way around. As a teacher, Ryan's natural demeanor was to take charge, and that personality trait seemed to rattle me, reminding me of how I was raised. Hold on. Sorry. What's going on, guys? What do you see? What do you see out there? Okay, there's nothing. There's nothing. Oh, the squirrels. Okay, you see the squirrels. They see squirrels. What am I going to do? All right. Okay, so as a teacher, Ryan's natural demeanor was to take charge, and that personality trait seemed to rattle me, reminding me of how I was raised. Alone and tired of crying over the latest argument Ryan and I had, I thought I could share my fear and confusion with some trusted friends. Writing. Hi, friends. I just want to let you know I am thinking about going forward with an annulment. I was hoping my friends would talk me off the ledge, tell me it was normal to feel this way, that the finality of being married sinks in for so many newlyweds, and that would be that. But they didn't. They knew we weren't supposed to be together. But like every other lesson I've learned in life, I'd have to figure that out on my own. Oh, bullshit. You didn't figure it out on your own. You got out of it by the help of Christy and Ken, you effing liar. So that's chapter 19 done. You want to go to chapter 20? We're going to go to chapter 20. If you give me 1 second here to see what the hell is going on. Is that distracting you? It distracts me a little bit. What are you guys doing? I love that you're sitting together. Oh, yes. Sister and bro. Sister and brother. Oh, yo, 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 look at that tail wigging and wagging. Danny's tail wigging and wagging. Okay, so this is French, chapter 20. Can we take a little smoke break here for a second? I think that I knew that there were dogs here. Oh, Melissa Hogan, thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. 420 somewhere, right? You're calling me a dog. Not calling anybody a dog, but it's so nice to see Danny's tail wagging because, Danny, she's on Prozac. I'm not trying to talk behind her back, but she's on Prozac. You tried to befriend a squirrel in your yard. He jumped in my face and I screamed like it won't do that again. No, I wouldn't fuck with squirrels. Sorry about that. I mean, you could have got rabies. What did I just see, lady? I don't know. What are you talking about? I don't know. What did you just see? Yeah, I don't do dabs. Yeah, remember he did lose his job, remember? All right. So is everybody chilled? Everybody chilled? Okay. I love Danny's waggy tail. I mean, she's a happy girl. All right. Chapter 20. I'm sure it's French. Agree, AIGRE dash do, DOUX. Sour, sweet. Not sweet and sour. Sour, sweet. I had managed to be in prison for about 6 years without going to the hole. Drugs didn't get me there. Ken's passionate kiss didn't get me there, nor did bad behavior. Of a population of roughly 2,500 at Chillicothe, it's rare to meet a woman who hasn't been in segregation. The hole, the shoe, isolation. Excuse me. I prided myself on being one of the few. That was strategic because, unlike many inmates, I had something to lose: release. I was careful and hell bent on letting nothing get in the way of my parole. I kept my head down and only hung around with my closest friends, Lori and Amelia. What happened to Rachel Garlick? You know, the woman that named her kid after you, and you were their godmom. And her husband used to bring them to see you because when she got out of prison, she felt bad that she didn't have any visitors, so her family visited you. How about that person? Getting involved in the business of rival groups was a surefire way to be charged with a new crime that could add time to your sentence. Hell no, if there was drama, I looked the other way. Bullshit. A fight? I'd slither out of the rec room. That I believe because they'll kick your ass. It was September 2021. I had a little over 2 years until my eligible parole date of December 2023. But I had been preparing for my upcoming meeting with the parole board in December 2021. In Missouri, inmates who have completed 85% of their sentence fulfill the minimum mandatory minimum and meet with parole board for the first time. Ryan and we'd patched up our differences, began to dream out loud about the fantasy of me getting paroled early. At worst, the 24 months gave us a timeline to slash pen marks through. Ryan described the apartment he was scoping out for us. Those phone calls discussing my wish list for a home made my days pass more quickly and easily. The last time I made such a wish list was for Habitat for Humanity. Shame on you. It was for a playhouse, a ramp, and a hot tub. My mom was the one who had the idea to paint it her favorite color, pink. It was blue. It wasn't pink, it was blue. My taste grew up as I did. Really? I thought no. You didn't even know how old you were, supposedly. Now, instead of a life-size Barbie dream house, I wanted granite countertops and stainless steel appliances and hardwood floors and high ceilings. How'd you know anything about those things? And I definitely needed a patio or a terrace, somewhere where I could go get some sun and breathe fresh air and smoke when I wanted to. I put the smoke bit down because that's what she did. That would be the best part of freedom, to be in nature. Well, he could have got you a fucking tent then. One morning at around 10 a.m., I was in my pajamas having my morning coffee, watching the Food Network when a CO, correctional officer, appeared in my doorway. Miss Blanchard, I need you to come with me. Okay, I said, furrowing my brows. Okay, that's what you probably said. I was really nervous as I followed him down to the rotunda where another guard stood. Is he waiting for me? The CO said nothing. He simply presented me to the guard, handed me over, and walked away. Wait, what? What? Is this a joke? What am I in trouble for? What did I do? I spun my head around as if the answers could be found in the air around me. Sorry. Sorry. Uh, Oi. Okay. Ay. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Thanks for looking out, Carolyn. Just a GA girl. Just a Georgia girl. Thank you for that. All right. Let's go. Um Okay, so wait, what? Is this a joke? What am I in trouble for? What did I do? I spun my head around as if the answers could be found in the air around me. I don't know, I said. I don't know, said the guard, but I gotta put the handcuffs on you. His demeanor was neutral as he took me by the arm and walked me outside the housing unit and into a holding cell where there was another inmate sleeping. I spotted an intercom and buzzed it, unclear of who might answer. Yes, said the voice. Excuse me, why am I downstairs? You're under investigation, the voice said. For what? I asked, my face burning. We don't know. They spun your cell, bitch. Nobody knew anything, yet I was held there for 3 days until I had a committee hearing to determine my penalty for my mystery infraction. Chances are, Gyps-A-hooooooy, you did something wrong. Do you know why you were under investigation? The sergeant asked during the hearing. The last time somebody asked me that question, I was in a sheriff's office in Wisconsin. This time I was telling the whole truth. I don't believe it. No, not at all, I said, wiping the sweat from my palms. Well, we don't either, he said. What the An ominous feeling came over me. I knew this feeling. It was the same feeling I had when my mom wheeled me against my will to the shed. This is such bullshit. I didn't know why I was in trouble. There was no reasoning with anyone. I'm not in control. What's happening? What's going to happen now? I cried. What's happening? What's going to happen now? You've been assigned to segregation. The hole! I wanted to jump out of my chair and run. What in the holy fuck did I even do? Being escorted to the hole felt like a funeral procession. Other inmates who were walking around camp had to stop walking, turn their backs to me as I walked behind the CO. They would remain frozen like that until we passed through. My tears streamed down my khaki uniform, turning it dark brown, the color of dirt. As I moved slowly toward what felt like my final resting place, I was being buried alive, and the gravediggers had no idea why. How will Ryan and my parents know where I am? For sure, they'll be worried when they don't hear from me. Gossip travels like wildfire in prison, but a story about the whole travels at lightning speed. My friend Lori was told by another inmate that I was taken down. She called Ryan and told him what had happened. Without explanation, everyone's imaginations went wild. Was Gypsy in the hole because of one of Ryan's visits? Did they kiss or touch too intimately? No, that was Ken, remember? She didn't even kiss him or touch him. Could she have gone back to DRUGS? Did another inmate make up a story to fuck with her? Ryan called the prison, but they wouldn't tell him anything either. Of course not. She's a fucking grown adult. Finally, I was informed that I was put in the hole because they were investigating me for a potential plan to escape prison. My parole hearing is in a few months, and I've already done the majority of my time, I said. I would never do that. I'm not fucking crazy, y'all. I just unalived my mom, put the shit on video, like the instruction video, um, for Nick and talk him into it. I'm not crazy at all. Being in the hole for a solid 2 weeks was the same as being kidnapped. How do you fucking know? Fancy! Maybe that's something her and Fancy can have in common. I had no access to time or people. I sat there in the dark, not knowing my fate or how long the punishment would be. I was defenseless in the dark, literally and figuratively. That should have been 2 weeks where you thought about your mom, and your mom should have come through walls and haunted the hell out of you. There was nonstop noise in the hole. Screaming was insistent. There was a woman next door to me who screamed all hours of the night, shrill noises that maybe that was Dee Dee. I couldn't shake from my ears. Banging and arguing echoed throughout the day and night. I was being assassinated by sounds of desperation. To keep myself sane, I envisioned the apartment Ryan was hunting for. Maybe the bathroom will have a dressing table to put makeup on and do my hair. She insisted on that, I thought. So, was it gonna have it? If he wanted to live with her, it was. I should add that to my wish list. It did. I prayed to God a lot. God, give me the strength to survive this. Please don't let this affect my parole. And nowhere did she say, please forgive me for unaliving my mom, for taking the life out of somebody that I had no business doing, because you are the only one that should take life away. How about that? How about that, Gypsy? Instead, she's saying, don't let it affect my parole. I put all my faith in God that He had gotten me this far. I thanked Him for sending me His blessings when the court showed me mercy. I don't want to be greedy, God, but please, can you send me another blessing? In the hole, I can only take a 5-minute shower twice a week. And it's a cage shower, so you're standing under the sprinkler naked in front of the female guards. When you go into the cage shower, there's a cubby hole for you to put your hands through, like the ones in Western movies, so the guards can cuff you from the other side. There was a toilet in my cell, so I had to do my business out in the open. The goal is to take away your dignity. Mine was flushed on day one. Your dignity should. You didn't have any. You didn't have any. For 2 weeks, I was reminded that I had no rights. Someone wrote on social media something like, "She doesn't belong in prison. I wish I could bust her out." Oh, God. It was that. An unknown source reported the post to the prison, and that was it. Authorities went through my stuff looking for writings or plans or any correspondence that indicated that I knew the person who wrote the troublemaker post, which I didn't. It's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy. There's a petition trying to throw her back in jail. I don't believe this. I think she did something. I don't believe this at all. I don't believe this at all. Not at all. Mm-mm. I don't believe it at all. Letting me out of the hole um came with as much explanation as going in. Poof, suddenly I could go back. An inmate who rejoins population after segregation looks markedly different. Weathered like a prisoner of war. Oh, please. failing to assimilate to the regular life. But in the meantime, you spent 8.5 years in prison and wanted to be assaulted by all of your senses at a Taylor Swift. It wasn't a concert, but it was the football game, right? It was a football game where Taylor Swift was gonna be there with her boyfriend who was playing football at the time. So, yeah, you didn't want to assimilate. You didn't give any thought to assimilating. You're just a liar. Liar. Let me see. Nothing is regular again after whole time. What a way of putting it. That is a horrible sentence. Think about that, guys. So, poof, suddenly I could go back. An inmate who rejoins population after segregation looks markedly different, weathered, like a prisoner of war, failing to assimilate to the regular life. Nothing is regular after whole time. What a bad sentence. I still have nightmares. In one dream, okay, so she doesn't have nightmares about unaliving her mom. She still has nightmares about being thrown in the shoe, special housing unit, isolation. She calls it the hole. That's fine. She's all by herself. All by myself. Okay, ready? All right. Nothing is regular again after whole time. I still have nightmares. In one dream, they put me in the hole for being Wiccan. In another, male guards put me in the hole for not stripping for them on demand. That's Gypsy. She's got to throw that in there. She probably got off on that one. In another dream, I'm in a cell in the hole, and Ryan is in an adjacent cell, and we whisper to each other through the vents. Upon returning to population, I did my best to resume my normal routine. My parole hearing was still set for December 9th, but I was freaking out for 2 months straight that my time in the hole would tarnish my parole eligibility. I thought she was in the hole for 2 weeks. Didn't she say 2 weeks? For 2 weeks, I was reminded, yep. But here she's like, but I was freaking out for 2 months straight that my time in the hole. Oh, she was freaking out about her time in the hole for 2 months where she only spent 2 weeks. Okay. The book is written horribly. Milo, the book's written horribly. Don't cry. Feel bad for mama. Oh, my neck. Did you guys hear that crick? Okay. Okay. So, I'm sorry. My parole hearing was still set for December 9th, but I was freaking out for 2 months straight that my time in the hole would tarnish my parole eligibility in December 2023. Around 9 in the morning on the day of the hearing, Christy met me in a visitation room where she sat with Deputy Warden Amy Parkhurst and video conferenced in 2 other members of the parole board. I had asked Christy to be my delegate to speak on my behalf. One of the men on the screen asked me questions, none of which were about the crime itself. They were interested in hearing from me personally about my upbringing and relationship with my mom. I told him a little bit about the abuse. I lied to him a lot about the abuse. Sorry, hang on. Hang on. He asked me where I had met Nick. He said he was not familiar with my case, at least the details of it. So I explained our story. I lied. Then he wanted to hear about the programs I participated in and completed while at Chillicothe. I showed my certificates and also my GED. I remember him saying he was proud of me. But you took no therapy. He even complimented me on only having 13 minor infractions, which are just write-ups. You couldn't behave in fucking jail, you dumbass. So you had an infraction more than once a year, basically. Something to be proud of. He even come okay. Have you had any mental health treatment while you have been here? Deputy Warden Parkhurst asked. No, ma'am, I tried but did not qualify. That's such bullshit. You could go. They want to offer that to you. There are people that donate time. This is crazy. Oh, God, this is horrible. This is a lie. This is an important thing in jails and prisons. And she's lying. Deputy Warden Parkhurst validated the trauma I endured. Ugh. Horrible. Deputy Warden Parkhurst validated the trauma I endured, and she encouraged me to seek therapy upon my release. Christy jumped in enthusiastically, saying, "She has loving parents and siblings, and we will all get her the support she needs. Heck, we'll all get into therapy." I could see Christy saying that. In the meantime, she didn't answer the phone for 2 weeks when Gypsy needed her. Ryan had to harass her so that she would get in touch and get Gypsy what she needed. Deputy Warden Parkhurst explained that it takes the board up to 4 weeks' time to make their decision. That was a Thursday. By the following Monday, I was called into the office of the institutional parole officer to give me my letter in person. I stood before her, took a deep breath, held it, and opened the seal. Gypsy Rose Blanchard with an E. Release date September 28th, 2023. Guys, what's today's date? Exactly a year today. And she's done nothing but wreak havoc and chaos. Little Gyps-A-hooooooy pig pen with the whole dirt and scuffle and shuffle and shit of destruction in her path. Excuse me. Here we go. Being granted early parole, I felt like a pregnant woman waiting out the first trimester to share her news. How would she know what that feels like? She supposedly was never pregnant before. Do you guys hear the crick in my neck? Well, today's the 28th, Sammy. Sammy Soup 1. All right. Being granted early parole, I felt like a pregnant woman waiting out the first trimester to share her news. Believe me, I wanted to shout it from the rooftops. I'm being released on December 28th, 2023, y'all. But there was too much at stake. People in prison get jealous of short timers. They'd call my sentence baby time. Sometimes they even retaliate and try to get you in trouble to jeopardize parole. After going to the hole for no reason at all, I couldn't risk anyone finding out. Trust me, you didn't go for no reason at all. If there was no reason they got you that time, there was a time before you should have gone. I started eating alone, keeping to myself. I think some people suspected something was up because I'm a chatterbox by nature. What happened to all your friends, Gypsy? Did you throw them out because you didn't need them anymore? We also wanted to keep the media from finding out I was getting released 2 years early. After the act, there was a lot of gossip. I didn't want haters to dampen the hope I had in my heart. Ryan moved into our apartment before me, of course, because you were incarcerated, dummy, decorating it with fleur de la, that little Saint from the New Orleans Saints, that thing. I can't pronounce it. I'm not French. But, that thing that you've seen Ryan have, that fleur de lis pillows and wall art, the symbol of New Orleans. The fleur de lis was my mom's go-to accessory around the house and in our front yard. There'll be no beige anywhere, Ryan said, assuring me our color scheme would be bright and happy with gold accents everywhere. You've seen enough beige for a lifetime. He told me he'd tested out the kitchen making gumbo, he joked, that rivaled my dad's. I could smell the Cajun seasoning. I could see Ryan in a silly apron that said something like, I don't need Google. I have Gypsy. I'm sorry, guys, but she can't cook. We saw that, right? So why it should say, I need Google because I have Gypsy. Maybe we'd even get a dog. You did get a dog and you left her behind. I was letting myself go to places in my imagination that I had been afraid to go. I was no longer afraid to let myself hope or trust. I thought we were skiing downhill with the wind at our backs. You fucking left that dog. Trixie. Our monthly countdown whittled to weeks, and the X's I pinned on the calendar felt like kisses. Oh, so you did that. People look at that, when you're like doing that in the jail cells and you're putting X's over the date on your calendar. That's a clue. When you stop ordering certain things, that's a clue. And the fact that Gypsy's a liar and can't keep her mouth shut, that's a clue. All right. Our monthly countdown whittled to weeks, and the X's I penned on the calendar felt like kisses. My dad and Christy and Ryan planned the logistics of my release date. I, on the other hand, was focused on what really mattered. What will I wear? I wanted to look pretty for Ryan, but I had never planned an outfit before. Yeah, you did. You planned the whole Cinderella outfit when you met Nick, and you even sent him his Prince Charming outfit. Come on, man. I know more about your life than you, Gyps-A-hooooooy. Either my mom dressed me or I wore a khaki uniform. It was a lot of fun asking my sister Mia what was trendy. I had to guess my jean size, and Ryan went out and shopped for me. I still giggle at how lost he must have looked around. He must have looked roaming around the woman's department trying to tell the difference between skinny jeans and high rise and boot cut. He's not an idiot. He probably asked for help. I'm pretty sure he went back to exchange them 3 times. The real challenge was the shoes. He needed to pick out just the right pair, but also guess my shoe size. Ryan would then mail my ensemble and shoes in a dress out box with my name on it, which I would change into the morning of my release. I had an actual day, December 28th, 2023, a year ago today, youngins. A year ago today, one skippers by proxy. I said it over and over again, never getting sick of the sound. Someone just pinch me, please, or smack me in the face, or stick some soap in my throat, or anything you want to do. Knock me out. She didn't say that, but I thought we would. Well, the joke was on me. One day in August, about 4 months before my release, I was in the canteen when a bunch of inmates approached me. We know you got parole. I tried to play dumb, but you can't out scam a bunch of scam artists. Blindsided and angry. Milo, stop, buddy. Stop it. We're almost done. We're almost done. Stop it. Come here. Come here. Stop. Milo. Come here. Come here. You got something on your nose, buddy. Okay, leave it there. Okay. I tried to play dumb, but you can't out-scam a bunch of scam artists. Blindsided and angry, I called Dad and Christy. We had managed to keep it under wraps for almost a year until someone leaked the story to In Touch Weekly. They're just going to start barking. I got to give them something, so hang on one second. You win. You win. You're getting taught by Gypsy Rose. All right, here we go. I got a little bit of a headache, if I'm honest with you guys. Okay. Here you go, my little Danny Banani. Yeah. And here you go, my little Milo. Here you go, guys. Danny, you got that one. Milo's got that one. Okay? Whoa! That's everything in my freezer coming out, guys. Hang on. Hang on. There you go. That's yours, Danny. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. That's yours, Danny. Yeah, stuff came out of my freezer. Yeah, I had to. Otherwise Milo had been barking, and I didn't want that. Okay. I called my dad and Chrissy. We managed to keep it under wraps. Somebody leaked it. It was, we think, someone Christy had told in confidence. I think they're blaming Fancy. We had managed to keep it under wraps for almost a year. It was, we think, someone Christy had told in confidence, and it was a hard lesson and a warning about what we needed to do when I was released. Keep our circle small. Stay off of social media. Do not get a TikTok account. Do not get a YouTube account. Do not call TMZ when I go buy shoes. That was going to be hard. I was trying to do two things at once: embrace my public platform and maintain an inner circle that I was 100% certain wouldn't screw me or the rest of my beloved family. Could these two things happen simultaneously? Yes, but not without making a lot of mistakes along the way. I tried to put the negativity of the snitch out of my mind. Finally, my future was the near future. One more holiday season to cycle through, and I'd be with Ryan on New Year's Eve. What would we do? How would we celebrate the beginning of 2024? While it felt like a tease to be released just 3 days after Christmas, having the week between Christmas and New Year's to celebrate my freedom worked out for friends and family who wanted to travel to Missouri to be with me. They were planning a big old belated Christmas for me, something I never had before, with presents and food and lots of laughter and love. Oh, and one small Lifetime channel camera crew. Christy went into her usual take charge mode, looking for a rental house in Overland Park, Kansas, just over the Missouri line that would fit all of us. Her hands cramped from wrapping so many presents, and she and Mia were my personal shoppers because I wanted to have gifts for everyone too. Christy and Mia bought confetti, party decorations, and baked a buttercream frosted sheet cake, complete with rainbow sprinkles and candles that spelled out, "Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music. Celebrate, celebrate, dance to the music." When Ryan told me that the Kansas City Chiefs were playing the New Orleans Saints on New Year's Eve, I was psyched. This was a sign. The two cities I had grown up in playing on such a special night, it wasn't just a sign, it was symbolic. My dad bought us tickets for seats in the 6th row. Ryan ordered me a bunch of Chiefs swag, including a pom-pom ski hat, while he coordinated his own over-the-top Saints garb. The plan was to have our first New Year's kiss at Arrowhead Stadium. What better way to spend the New Year's than to ring in a new life? But she knew Taylor Swift was going to be there, and that's why she really wanted to go. Remember? Guys, let's see. So this is chapter 22. Oh, hang on. That thing collects so much dog hair. Dance to the music. 21. I'm sorry, we're on chapter 21. I just want to see how many more pages there are. We could finish this up probably on Monday, easy peasy. There's not that much to it, but I gotta go to sleep. First of all, I gotta. Well, they're probably not gonna go OUT right now because they're eating. Let's go. Let's read chapter. Can we read chapter 21? It's just a few pages. What do you think, guys? Read chapter 21. Take a smoke break real quick and read chapter 21. I don't want to smoke on the thing. Okay. So we'll read chapter 21. Let me just put my What's up, little boy? You alright? You alright, mister? Of course, now they're done. Well, they're gonna switch. They're gonna switch off. He'll get he'll get hers, and she'll get his. Okay. Chapter 21. Libere, which means released. I don't know that I pronounced that correctly. Okay, so I'm sorry, but the beverages I drink are gassy. They have the bubbles in them. So that's why I keep belching. All right, you ready? 21. Libere, released. 3 days away from my release date, I spent Christmas Day crying. When I wasn't crying, I slept the day away. When I wasn't sleeping, I paced. Time felt like a straitjacket. I purposely didn't speak to Ryan or Dad or Christy on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. It felt intrusive to call. Dad and Christy's house at Christmas time is usually busting at the seams. Ryan was with his own family. Something inside me told me not to let told me to let them enjoy their traditions the way the way they were used to without me. Something told me to let them enjoy their traditions the way they used to without me. In just a few days, everyone's lives would be forever altered. I felt this was especially true for my brother and sister. I wanted to be sensitive to their feelings. They'd had our parents to themselves all their lives, and here comes the long lost daughter. I imagine them at the dinner table thinking how it's the last time Christmas will be exactly this way. Were they happy or sad about that? If they were sad, I don't blame them. Change, even good change, can be sad. I think that's why I felt so down those last days. Yeah, because you thought of others. My life also would be changing. The only friends I ever had were at Chillicothe, and I threw them away the minute I knew I was getting paroled. The only job I worked was there too. The only education I received was within those walls. However, I came in there knowing how to read and knowing how to read Harry Potter. When I arrived at Chillicothe, I felt freer than I ever had. Yeah, that's bullshit. Although you could stay there. You could have stayed. Although I had outgrown that version of freedom, it was still bittersweet to leave it behind. December 28th, 2023. A year ago today, guys. Typically, when inmates are released, they change into the clothes given to them in their dress out box. Some people file onto a bus that takes them to a bus station. Others are picked up by someone they know. I was the exception to the rule. Since the news of my parole broke, along with announcements of a docu-series Lifetime was filming, the media's interest in my release was intense. This concerned the authorities at Chillicothe. Nobody wanted a scene. Ryan was going to pick me up, but we didn't know what time. I'd be released until the prison called him. The secret the secretive the secretiveness surrounding my discharge made it feel like a prison break, except with the help of the prison. The Lifetime crew and Ryan were staying minutes up the road, waiting for the call telling them when they should head over. GoPros were placed inside Ryan's car, a blatant reminder that mine was no ordinary release. You didn't have to do this. You didn't have to do it at all, Gypsy. Could have said no. Handshaking, hands shaking. I changed into my blue jeans and blue and white long sleeved shirt, savoring the moment I had been praying for. I was so excited to put my black platform heeled boots on, but they wouldn't zip up past my ankles. My white socks would have to do. Ryan got the call at 2:30 a.m. to pick me up within 45 minutes. He headed to the prison, followed by the film crew. Once they reached the perimeter, police barricaded the area and told the crew to leave. The biting weather, the biting winter air felt exhilarating as I was escorted from the back of the prison to the passenger side of Ryan's car. I thought about the last time I was outside in the middle of the night to feel how low Missouri's temperatures can dip. I had forgotten what night air smelt like. the car the car door shut, and just like that, I was alone with my husband in a warm car. There wasn't even time for a proper kiss. Ryan just pulled away as I buckled my seatbelt for the most surreal ride of my life. I thought he was going so fast. I had forgotten the sensation of moving in a car. I was afraid I'd get sick. I marveled at the iPhone Ryan handed to me. Like a cave woman. How did she know what a cave woman? Who traded in her sticks and rocks for a flashing, vibrating, beeping, heap of plastic vibrating. She had to put that in there. Hey, thank you, Gwen. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to hit this. Thank you so much. That was very kind of you. All right. So, who traded in her sticks and rocks for a flashing, vibrating, beeping heap of plastic? I hadn't had a full night's sleep in a week. The heat from the vents lulled me. and I felt instantly exhausted, but fought off sleep until I became hyper on the short ride. I would have put toothpicks under my eyelids to not miss a beat of this moment. Okay, that sucked. Let me read it again. I hadn't had a full night's sleep in a week. The heat from the vents lulled me, and I felt instantly exhausted, but fought off sleep until I became hyper on the short ride. So the heat from the car. It was from the car that it's really written badly. I would have put toothpicks under my eyelids to not miss a beat of this moment. Ryan and I went back to the hotel where he had reserved a suite for our very first night together. From what we could tell, we hadn't been followed by paparazzi. Well, we knew what was going on. We saw it from the show. We made it inside, got into our room, and gave each other a long embrace, something we could never do in the visitors' room. We were able to doze off only to awake to a parking lot full of news vans, and she loved it. My white socks were turning brown underneath from exposure. I couldn't go I couldn't go the rest of the day shoeless. We had about an She had shower shoes, like at least shower shoes. It's ridiculous. We had about an hour and a half drive from Chillicothe to where my family was waiting for me at an Airbnb. As much as I couldn't wait to see them, I couldn't wait another minute to get something on my feet. So we made a pit stop at a shoe store where I'd have my first interaction with the media. Gypsy, one reporter said as Ryan and I left the shoe warehouse. What did you buy? Shoes, I said. Gypsy, do you have plans? Lots of them, to buy a lot more shoes. Nope. Lots of them, I said while thinking. What is the man following me for? Oh, lots of them, I said while thinking, what is this man following me for? Well, because you called them. While we drove, I leaned my head against the glass, watching Ryan trying to lose the paparazzi following him. We feared they'd follow us to the Airbnb, and then Ryan's phone rang. The conditions of my parole were a bit wonky. Usually, you are not allowed to leave the state and must regularly report to your parole officer. Since I was married to a man from Louisiana and my entire support system was also there, we had to get special approval for me to leave Missouri. This meant that until I got to Louisiana on New Year's Day, I was under the jurisdiction of the Missouri Department of Corrections, after which I would be transferred from having a Missouri parole officer, PO, to one in Louisiana. I was supposed to spend 4 days with my family at the Airbnb. People had driven from all over the country to greet me and celebrate. It was to be a bonding period and also a regrouping. Ryan and I would then go to the football game and head home to our apartment the next day. You know what they say about making plans? Ryan's caller ID was explicit. Excuse me, Ryan's caller ID was explicit. It was my parole officer calling. He had terrible news. The Jackson County Sheriff's Office, which oversees Kansas City, wanted her out of the state immediately. Fucking blame you. You said you were never in trouble. They couldn't wait to get rid of you. Wait, what? We had the whole week pre approved. We've been planning this for months. What about the party? My family who took off from work. You have until 3 o'clock to leave. But it's already one, Ryan said. The rest of the ride was not joyful. Instead of walking triumphantly in to greet my family on the verge of hyperventilating, Mike Stanfield received me with open arms, my defender, even now, and firmly said, tell me what they said. Panic and paranoia pumped through my body. I was inconsolable. We saw this shit. Remember, we saw it on Lifetime. I felt trapped, claustrophobic. I excused myself and went to a quiet place and cried about wanting to be the average bear. My senses were overloaded, but I was ready to go to a football game. I had never been around this many people and wanted to be around a lot more because I wanted to be in a stadium with a bunch of people and a bunch of different smells and noises at a football game. Milo's rubbing his nose. He's so cute. My little baby boy named Milo. I kept looking. I had never been around this many people. I kept looking at the clock, thinking I had to be somewhere. I realized my body clock was waiting for count time. All the ruckus and confusion felt like a virus. The PO then blindsided us with more bad news. Once I left Missouri, the transfer of authority to Louisiana couldn't happen until the offices reopened on January 3rd. She needs to be on a lockdown in an apartment until she sees her PO in Louisiana, the PO said. That's 7 days, I cried. 7 days, I cried. What about going to my mom's house for a dinner she's been planning? Ryan asked, as if the PO was in a bargaining mood. Absolutely nowhere. She cannot leave the house for any reason at all, except to meet her parole officer. In total lawyer mode, Mike dialed my PO from his phone while I waited in purgatory for others to slap down a verdict on my life. This time, I hadn't done anything wrong. Well, yeah, you did. You knew you were marrying a man just for an address. You knew you loved somebody else. You still aren't ready to take full responsibility for what you did to Nick. So, yeah, Gypsy will never be free. That's what's written here. I let self-pity take over. You stupid idiot. You thought you'd just get out, be married, open presents, and eat cake. Gorge yourself on dad's gumbo and have a sisterly sleepover with Mia? Ring in a new year, a new life? Fucking moron. Dumb, dumb, dumb. So dumb. That's what she wrote. Or somebody wrote it for her. It was as if Chillicothe had let me out only to boomerang me back. Freedom was an illusion. My decisions on how to spend my holiday were not mine. No, you dumbass, you're on parole. A dose of humility and reality knocked me over. Not enough. Trust us, not enough. I was back to not speaking for myself. They say something different in those reports. Like, she always spoke up and big mouth and know it all and ready to bargain and manipulate and deal. Other people were speaking on my behalf, referring to me as she and her. She couldn't wait to give him the phone. He's her lawyer. That's what he should be doing. Did I even matter? Do you want me to answer that? While my 40 plus guests had side conversations about what Mike was accomplishing on the phone, I was catapulted back to volunteer way. Yeah, she used that as an excuse for everything, right? I was confined to a wheelchair. I was back in the closet at Daddy Claude's. Look at this shit. In the alleyway with my mom, tied to the bedpost. All this bullshit. Look at this bullshit. Running away and dragged back. The Airbnb was the shed. It was the scalpel that traced my throat. It was the hole. I just wanted out. I'm sorry. I'll be good. The sheriff's office explained to Mike that I posed a security risk. This made me feel shamefully aware of what people really thought of me. I was an imposter in a world that thinks I'm a monster. It was a foreshadowing of public opinion, and I was not in the least ready for it. Mike, though, worked his magic. No, he didn't. We just include him in it now. The PO agreed to let me have. Oh, this is why he worked the magic. So you're not just the average bear. The PO agreed to let me have until noon the next day to drive home. I didn't have to leave Missouri that instant. I could at least remember she was saying, "We're too tired. We're exhausted. I didn't sleep, and he didn't sleep." Right? So what are they going to do? Have them wreck? And then it'll be a lawsuit. They said they were tired. I didn't have to leave Missouri that instant. I could at least spend some time with those who love me. Watch my dad open the present I bought him and get a good night's sleep. The next day, it was back to lockdown. All right, guys. So now we're on chapter 22. I think it's the last chapter, but then there's like this about the author and some other stuff and pictures and stuff, which I don't know how I'm going to share the pictures. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to share them. I don't know. I'll probably might share them on my community page. I don't know how I'm going to share them, but we'll share them some way, somehow. Maybe I'll do it from StreamYard, like put those pictures up. I guess I could put that up and we could go to something that I put on YouTube and we can look at the pictures from there. So maybe I'll do that. I have to remember to do that. I'm probably going to forget to do that. Hopefully I won't forget to do that. So guys, what do you think? I think I got something going on Monday. Tomorrow I can't do this because I'm gonna be interviewing at 7 o'clock and I'm working tomorrow night. And okay, so the 30th is Monday. I am gonna be interviewing on Monday night too, but I'm off Monday night. I'm not off on Sunday. So how about we do it Monday at 2 o'clock? We'll finish the book. How's that? How's that, guys? Does that work? I'll take a day off from the book and finish it on Monday. All right. Yeah, I'll call my mom. Thanks for that. I will. And I also have to let the dogs out. And who let the dogs out? Who? Danny's looking at me. And yeah. And that's it, guys. So I am gonna go. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Melissa. I really thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I am going to go, guys. There's 315 of you and almost 300 thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to try. I have that video about the hacking that I'm going to put out. I put the 90-day video out. Anybody that hasn't seen the video I put out about how we fail children. Oh, thank you so much, Buttons Bijan. Thank you so much. I put out on how we fail children. It's about Corey Michello, Maddie Soto, Jalen Candelaria, and Timothy Ferguson. You know, four children that I covered this year that had passed away. Not necessarily this year. Matty Soto, but not Corey Michello. He passed away a while ago, as you know. Anyway, guys, so let me go. I don't know what Danny's staring at, but I know they do need to go out. So I thank you for everything, and I'll see you guys soon. And don't forget, I have an interview with Trixie and an interview with 1980 Millennial Commentates. One is on Monday and one is on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to both, guys. So, yeah, Danny's looking outside. So I got to go. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. And don't forget, be better today than you were yesterday, not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Thanks, guys. You guys want to go?